So stand here, is this all right? Just here. Can you hear me at the back? It's a microphone, of course you can. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take the floor? I just have. I am Dan. I am Matt's best man. I'm his younger brother. I'm the youngest of the three brothers. That's Andrew, Matthew, and Dan. I can categorically say I have the worst track record out of all of them when it comes to marriage. No, it's true. It's true. So much so that the irony of me being on top table today would be significant to many people in the audience today. Now, Matt promised me he would decouple my electronic tag if I can make it through to desserts. And I've done that, so that's a winner. So I've done that. Honestly, seriously now, that just makes me so proud of what Matt has achieved today. Amy, it's not difficult, but he's done well. He's done well. And I think you'll agree, he's the better brother.
Yeah.
Move on. Right, so I'd like to congratulate the happy couple now. That's Mrs. and Mr. Amy and Matthew Noakes. Amy, you literally come into this world and you've brightened it for us. It's been absolutely fantastic. And, you know, the two of you together, you make each other so happy, and you make my brother happy. And today's been fantastic as he goes. You look stunning. And the tears that came out of Amy today, all I'm going to say on that matter is, she's a bloody brilliant actress, isn't she? Honestly, no, it was a beautiful ceremony. So thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to welcome to my family, I get to do this now, my new sisters. That's Mel and Nina. Mel and Nina was on the stag do, so I don't know whether she's a brother or a sister. I'd also like to say, carry that out to the beautiful Sue. Where's Sue gone now? Sue's in the room. And the charismatic Chris. And my sister Claire, I'd just like to say, it must be brilliant for you now. We've kind of outdid this male dominance in the Noakes family. You must be so pleased. And then to say thank you to Mum and Dad for coming probably the shortest distance out of every... Was that 30 yards? 30 yards. Not because Matthew and Amy wanted a cheap wedding. No, not at all. It's because their ASBO won't allow them out after curfew hours. So... I know, to a point I wasn't even going to drop this one in, actually. It's been an emotional day, even the cake's been in tears. So Amy, you are... No, I'll do a little bit about you. It's not all about Matthew. It is, actually. You have come into our family with your theatrical ways. You've brightened it up, you know. Talking emotion. We now talk about emotions. Noakes don't do emotions. We're now talking about emotions. So, we won't go. Anyway, so the first time I met Amy, I heard that Matt had this new girl, and he didn't hesitate to rush her down to Mum and Dad's to meet them. Now, it was literally light speed. So, the weekend she was down, I had to come down. We had a cracking family weekend. As it always, you know, I drive down, walking through the front of the house, get greeted by all the family, big kisses and hugs. It's magical every time. I says, I'm always met at the door with a bottle of Stella or a glass of wine. That's good parenting. Learn from that. And so I'm saying, I'm missing one. Where's Amy? And they go, oh, she's upstairs. So I goes upstairs. Amy, are you about? Amy? Are you in there, Amy? What's in there? That's the bathroom. Hello? Hi, Amy, it's Dan. She is here. She wasn't at the time, Pasha. She wasn't at the time. Amy, you've been in the bathroom a while, Amy. You're right in there. What were you doing? I'm all right. I'm fine, Dan. What are you doing? I'm having a poo. All right, okay. Well, I'll just sit down and talk to you through the door then. Lowest common denominator, ladies and gentlemen, poo chat. And that's how a brother and sister should start a relationship. Yeah. True story. True story. I am a girl as well. Blown out by a 3-year-old. So my connection to Matt goes deeper, longer. I'm not going to say harder. Earlier, we shared a room together back in the day when we lived in Shane Oaks. Grew up together. We helped each other through the trials of youthhood, if that's a word. But back then, the biggest chore for myself and Matthew was opening and shutting the curtains. Remember, we used to take it in turns to open and shut it. It was a trial getting in the morning. Someone had to open the curtains and you go to bed and someone had to shut the curtains. And often he'd pull rank. He was the older one of the two. But so what did we do? We came up with a solution. It was the electric motorised curtain. Honestly, this thing would have solved the problem for us and made us stacks of money the older we got. Now, turns out someone invented that 20 years earlier. Got it. But it showed that we were building this relationship, working together in this room, working through the youth. Is he drunk? Seriously, no. Sharing a room with Matthew hasn't been easy. I have to put up with his absolutely awful music taste. So, as a soppy teenager, he would listen to Dina Carroll. Oh my God. As a dickhead teenager, he actually wrote the full lyrics of Do the Bartman on the wall beside his bed. I'm not kidding. In a hope that someday he will meet a beautiful girl like Amy, and he'd be able to recite the full lyrics of this pop rap from the Simpsons Sing the Blues 1990 album, probably in the same accent as Nancy Cartwright. You'd probably do this, wouldn't you? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? This is the guy, ladies and gentlemen, that when he was younger, his chat-up line, I'm not that young, actually, his chat-up line, well, what's green and stands in the corner? A naughty frog. It's no surprise it's taken him 35 years to find a girl like Amy. He's literally rubbish. You're right, Pasha. You can't take that, because if you do that, I'm lost. I'm lost. So, I hate to say it, Amy, but back then, a real woman for Matthew, and the posters on his wall says it all. A real woman was Posh Spice, from then Victoria Adams from the Spice Girls, or as I like to call her, the constipated pipe cleaner. One of the world's best DJs, Tiesto's, playing till 6 in the morning. There's a swimming pool in the centre of this super club. There is a bridge that goes to a DJ booth over the top of this pool, and around this pool is this metal fencing. This is when the camera starts, and he says, "Hello, my name is Matthew Noakes, and this is Jackass." And he took one hell of a running jump, and he literally leapt like a salmon and swan dived over this barrier and under the bridge. Unbelievable it was. And he didn't surface, and I'm still filming. And he didn't surface, I'm still filming. I think, maybe I should go in after him. Oh, sod it, I'm still filming. Eventually he comes back up. He's coming up the ladder, and that's when the bouncer clips him around the head. Now, wait for it. There's the swan dive! Live from Privilege. I think that's his hand, but I can't quite tell. And I've honestly thought he's drowned at this point, but I kept on filming. Gets the clip round the head. And wait for it. Hooray! A legend was born that night. Literally born that night. Now, punishment for jumping in the pool is a lifetime ban and immediate ejection. He gets allowed back in, dripping wet, returned to his place. Literally, he was the hero of the night in this place. I've got the clip later. I'm going to show you the clip after this. It is worth a clap. But this isn't my favourite. My favourite it was a Christmas Eve 2010. We always went back to Mum and Dad's over Christmas. On Christmas Eve, the lads always go out on the drink and have an absolute skinful. And we return back and we pass out on the couch, on the sofa, in the living room. Yes, we're going to do this, Matt. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I can hear the sound of a waterfall. I look up, there's no Matthew on the other chair. Oh, that's a bit strange. Why is there a water? I'm thinking, I didn't leave the back door open, so that's not Dad's pond. So I follow the sound. Go trudging through into the dining room. Now in the dining room, in 10 hours' time, we will be having our Christmas dinner. It's fully carpeted. I see Matthew standing up facing the fish tank, like this. Matthew, what are you doing? He's got his willy out. He is literally weeing against the fish tank. Against the fish tank. My fish tank. We're... 10 hours Christmas dinner. So Mum was enthralled to understand exactly what that wet patch was the following morning. What you don't realise, Matt, I cleaned it up. 4:30 in the morning. No, it was not you. I literally saved Christmas. Matthew, Steve, a few words from your most beautiful of friends. Steve Taylor and Adam Fisher. I think Mum, Steve Taylor's your favourite, isn't it? Adam Fisher's Claire's favourite. Definitely. Bit of crumpet, she says. My married sister, ladies and gentlemen. So you have a friend called Ian Campbell. They called him the taxi driver because he was the designated designated driver. He had one opportunity for the limelight in this friendship group the whole time, and he decided to take it by singing Amazing Grace at the top of his voice, full lungs capacity out there, really putting himself out there. When he finished, he waited for a rapturous applause. Instead, there was a silence and a Matthew that went, "Oh, he reminds me of a young Shirley Bassey." He never got that moment back again. He's in counselling. They want to tell me about the dancing. This is Adam saying Matt's dancing back in the day was just Matthew, literally stationary on the spot, legs don't move, arms gyrating, and the McDonald's haircut flopping up and down. Yes, he looked like he was sponsored out of Boyzone back then. He was terrible. They tell me about your Kavos holiday, Matthew. They tell me about the first night you got chucked out the phone party for turning the sprinklers on. They told me about the unanimous King of Kavos when you won that. Now, what you had to do to win King of Kavos on stage for 18 to 30s, they attached toilet paper into his butt cheeks and they separated the toilet paper. It was how many drinks you can down by the time you burn your bum. 3 pints he could down at the time, and he won King of Kavos. So, to the King of Kavos, this isn't any man, ladies and gentlemen. This is a man that's willing to burn his bottom to prove what a good drinker he is. Seriously now, seriously. So, Matthew is always there for you, and he's been there for everyone. What a great guy. And he really is. He's there for everyone. He's got such a big heart. Even when Dad moved to America and left us. No, he didn't. Always in our thoughts. 9 months, Dad moved to America to work. Matt, age 17 and still in the middle of his A-levels, assumed the role of man of the house. Every night, without fail, Mum, you're testament to this, Mum would come in from work and I would come in from school. There would always be hot dinners on the table. That is commendable. Absolutely commendable. We don't forget that, Matt. This guy knows what love is. He taught me what love is because, believe me, I failed a few times. He's actually taught me I was always looking for the wrong thing. He's taught me that actually you love with the heart, not with the head, because the head's full of rubbish from around the world. And actually, over the years, your head gets full of rubbish. Only the heart's never tainted. I now know, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about kissing frogs to find your prince. Everybody has to be a frog once in their life to appreciate when that prince comes along. For me, it's not a prince, but... So Matt hasn't always been this mature, but what he will say is relationships you have to work at. He quotes our mum all the time. Relationships are difficult. You have to work at them, Matthew. You always have to find things to do together and keep things fresh. My mum, the genius. Pat Noakes. Now Matt's going to write a book one day. Matt knows what love is. And he says, you know you found the one when she's your best friend and she makes you happy. And when you find that one, he says, when you find that one, you hold on to her tight. And with Amy, he's holding on tight. Matt is incredibly happy with Amy. I see this. Relationships can be hard. There can be rocky roads, raging torrents, underwater currents, sultanas. But, badges. What's important is you work together. These guys have found a way to manage each other's massive personalities. From the person they were to the people they've become. Really, they've taken time to appreciate the world around them. And this is their unique experience that no one will ever be able to take away from them. I see this no more than when they've been a night on the booze. Because we know they love 3 bottles of wine each a night. 4. And they're dropping the F-bombs and they're dropping the C-bombs. Ellie, we know what this is about. But come the morning, they're dropping the L-bombs. M-bombs. To quote Matthew directly, Matt would say, I know I love Amy, and I know she loves me. I know because I enjoy the simple things with her, like spending a whole day on a Sunday with the curtains drawn, in our pyjamas, having just eaten a full Sunday roast dinner, curled up on the sofa together with a bottle of wine and sweeties, watching films all day long together, stopping time together, sharing the same space together and feeling comfortable with it under a blanket. He will say, Amy, I love stopping time with you. You make me happy and you are my best friend. This is how I know. So I'm so lucky to know these guys, ladies and gentlemen. So please, one more big round of applause for Mr. and Mrs. Noakes.